Hello students, welcome to online maths classroom. This is the last part of your complex numbers and quadratic equations. And in part 5, we will solve miscellaneous exercise. So let us start with it. Miscellaneous exercise, question number 1. Question number 1 is iota raised to power 18 plus 1 upon iota raised to power 25 whole cube. Okay. Now listen one thing here, that you should not go for opening of a plus b whole cube first. Firstly, settle iota. Now iota raised to power 18 can be written as iota raised to power 16 into iota square, or you can also write it as iota raised to power square times raised to power 9. Okay, 9 2s are 18. So iota raised to power 16 is 4 raised to power 4 into iota square, which will give me, as iota 4 is 1, so this will, iota square will give me minus 1, and iota 4 raised to power 4 is your plus 1, so it will give me minus 1. And 1 upon iota raised to power 25, this is 1 upon iota raised to power 25, and you know how to solve it. So it is 1 upon iota raised to power 24 into iota, so iota raised to power 4 into 6 into iota, right? Why we are changing to iota raised to power 4? Because we know iota raised to power 4 is 1. Or you can change it like this, iota raised to power square raised to power 12. So 2 times 12 will also be 24. So that is also one way. So it becomes 1 upon iota, as iota 4 raised to power 6 is 1. Now we need to rationalize it, and it turns out to be minus iota. Now let us come back to here. This becomes minus 1, and this is minus iota whole cube, and it becomes minus times 1 plus iota whole cube, right? So negative whole cube means it is your minus outside, okay? And 1 plus iota whole cube. Now open it, it becomes a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b, right? And then opening it, 1, okay, 1 cube is 1, then iota cube is minus iota. So it is iota square into iota, that is minus iota, plus your 3 iota plus 3 iota square, and 3 iota square will be minus 3, as iota square is minus 1. So it becomes minus times minus 2 plus 2 iota, that is 2 minus 2 iota. Number 2 is, for any two complex numbers z1 and z2, prove that real part of z1 into z2 equal to real part z1 into real part z2 minus imaginary part z1 into imaginary part z2. So consider two complex numbers, z1 is x1 plus iota y1, z2 is x2 plus iota y2. Now real part of z1 from here, this is real part is x1, imaginary is y1. Don't take iota, okay? Imaginary part means I have to take y1. And real part of z2 is x2, real part of imaginary part of z2 is y2. Now z1 into z2 is the product of these two, which becomes x1 x2 plus iota x1 y2 plus iota y1 x2, okay, plus iota square y1 y2. Now iota square terms becomes minus times y1 y2, and it gets merges with x1 x2, so that we can arrange it to real term plus iota term, okay? So it is x1 x2 minus y1 y2 plus iota, both these terms have iota common, so plus iota times this term, right? Now real part of z1 into z2, what is the real part of this term? This is the real part. So x1 x2 minus y1 y2, right? And shall I say x1 is the real part of z1 and x2 is real part of z2 minus y1 is imaginary part of z1 and y2 is imaginary part of z2, right? So this is how this question can be proved. Number 3 is reduced this complete term to standard form. So for reduction, firstly I need to bring it to a plus iota b form. So firstly I'll just solve the terms inside this bracket, right? So I will take LCM here, and I'll get from here minus 1 plus 9 iota upon my, this will become your 5 minus 3 iota, right? Which is 4 plus 1 minus 3 iota multiplied with this. Now multiply both the numerators and denominators to get 33 plus 31 iota upon 28 minus 10 iota. Then to bring it to a plus iota b form, we need to rationalize it. So for rationalization, I'll multiply and divide by 28 plus 10 iota. Okay. And then multiply both the numerators, both the denominators, and changing iota square to minus 1, right? I'll get this reduced form, and separating in a plus iota b form as 307 upon 442 plus 599 iota upon 442. Number 4 is if x minus iota y equal to root a minus iota b upon c minus iota d, prove that x square plus y square whole square equal to a square plus b square upon c square plus d square, right? Now this question can be carried out in so many ways. Either you can proceed with taking modulus, or you can take this by squaring also, right? And one more way is there that you can directly take the conjugate, right? So there are two ways. I am proceeding by the way of taking conjugate, but conjugate also can be taken in two ways, right? One is that either you take the conjugate directly from here, like x plus iota y equal to root of, it will be a plus iota b upon c plus iota d, and then multiply both of them. Otherwise, if I don't want to retain this root sign, I can go by this way also. So please see, this way is also convenient. Like, I'll start with squaring. So squaring both sides, I'll get x minus iota y whole square equal to a minus iota b upon c minus iota d. Now I will take conjugate. Okay, instead of taking direct conjugate from here, that is also the way it is correct. You can go by that method also. But this is also a way. Now I can take conjugate, so I'll get x plus iota y whole square, right? Changing the sign of this iota by minus iota. So it becomes a plus iota b upon c plus iota t. And in next step, again in the same way, I'll multiply 1 and 2. So we will get x minus iota y whole square into x plus iota y whole square equal to a minus iota b upon c minus iota d, a plus iota b upon c plus iota d. So these are the left hand side of both these equations, and these are the right hand sides of both these equations. Like, and also we know a square b square can be written as ab whole square. So see, it is a square b square, so I can write it as a plus b whole square. Okay, so you need to put a bracket here. A square b square is equal to a into b whole square, and this side it becomes a plus b into a minus b as a square minus b square, and this again c square minus iota square d square. So because b is your involving the iota b here, okay, and iota d here. Now iota square is minus 1, so it becomes a square plus b square upon c square plus d square. Similarly, here also it is a plus b into a minus b, so it becomes a square minus b square, and this iota square can be changed to minus 1, and which will give me my result as iota square is minus 1, so it will also become x square plus y square whole square equal to, this is the right hand side, which is the desired term. Number 5 is convert the following to polar form, right? So number 1 and number 2 are there. So firstly, we need to understand that for converting to polar form, I must express it in the form of a plus iota b. So for this, I will just firstly open the bracket of the denominator, means square bracket of this, means a minus b whole square I'll use, and it becomes 3 minus 4 iota by replacing iota square with minus 1, right? And then I need to rationalize it by 3 plus 4 iota, dividing and multiplying by 3 plus 4 iota, right? So after this, iota square is minus 1, and I'll collect all the these real terms and the imaginary terms. Okay, so it becomes minus 25 plus 25 iota upon 25, and we get minus 1 plus iota, right? And now it is the form we have achieved from where we can change to polar form. So for changing to polar form, z is equal to minus 1 plus iota is equal to x plus iota y, right? Now we know we can represent it as a point minus 1 1. Okay, here it is lying in the second quadrant, and I have to replace this x by r cos theta and y as your sin theta, right? So r cos theta is minus 1, which is equal to x, and r sin theta is 1, which is equal to y. Squaring and adding these two, r square times cos square theta plus sin square theta equal to minus 1 square plus 1 square equal to 2. So r is equal to root 2, right? And this becomes your modulus, okay? Root 2, that is this formula we are using, right? We get it as root 2. And why we don't retain the negative sign? Because you know it is the distance of origin from this point, so it is always taken as positive. Now this point lies in your second quadrant, where the argument is taken as pi minus theta, okay? So you can use your tan pi by x method also. This is other method while following the previous videos in which we have done polar form, where there we use the formula of sine and cos directly, right? So this is one other way which I have tried to discuss in this part, so that you're familiar with this also. So we can calculate tan y also, tan theta also, which is your y upon x, right? and which becomes minus 1. So which is minus tan pi by 4 and it becomes tan pi minus pi by 4. That is your tan 3 pi by 4. So this way also your argument can be calculated. So theta is 3 pi by 4. Okay. And putting the value of r and theta, we get z is equal to r times cos theta plus iota sin theta is the required polar form. Okay. So this is also another way of calculating argument. Otherwise, you know that for this argument, I can just go for the sin theta cos theta term. Then what will I do? That I will calculate from here. Sin theta will be your 1 by root 2 and cos theta will be minus 1 by root 2. Okay. So you know the 1 by root 2 values, both of them take at pi by 4, and argument in my second quadrant is of pi minus theta. So pi minus pi by 4 is already 3 pi by 4. So that is also one way. And this is the other way. By calculating tan directly, you can also calculate the argument. Second question is 1 plus 3 iota upon 1 minus 2 iota. So this can also be fixed by firstly rationalizing with 1 plus 2 iota upon 1 plus 2 iota, multiplying and dividing. So I'll get the same complex number as I got in the previous question, and in the same way I can convert it to polar form. Question number 6. Solve each of the equations from 6 to 9, right? So these are the quadratic equation with non-real roots. So I have to compare it with ax square plus bx plus c. So I get a as 3, b as minus 4, c as 20 by 3. So firstly, I'll calculate discriminant by using b square minus 4ac, which is minus 64 less than 0, and the formula as x is equal to minus b plus minus root d upon 2a. And this minus 64 will give me 64 iota, root 64 iota, and you can take out this is 4 plus minus root 64 iota upon 2 3s are 6. Okay, the values. And from here I'll get plus minus your 64 is your 8 iota, right? 8 8s are 64. So it becomes 8 iota. So I can take 2 by 3 common, and this can be expressed in this way also. Second quadratic equation, here a is 1, b is minus 2, c is 3 by 2. Discriminant is minus 2, which is negative. Using the same formula, I'll get it as 2 plus minus, this is minus 2 can be written as root 2 iota, and this is how I can express the roots. Number 8 is 27x square minus 10x plus 1 equal to 0. So a27b minus 10c1. Discriminant is minus 8. So putting in this formula, I'll get it as 10 plus minus root minus 8 upon 2 into 27. So this root 8 means 8 iota, which is your 2 root 2 iota, right? And separating the real and imaginary part, this is the solution. Number 9 will give me a21b minus 28c10. Discriminant is minus 56 and x is your, by putting in this formula, you just need to take out the factor 14 4s are 56. So minus 1 will give me iota, and I can take out 4. So it is 2 root 14 iota upon 42. And after cancellation of 2, I'll get it as 2 by 3 plus minus root 14 iota upon 20. Number 10 is if z1 is 2 minus iota, z2 is 1 plus iota, find z1 plus z2 plus 1 upon z1 minus z2 plus 1, right? So firstly, this modulus is given, put all the values of z1, z2. Okay. So after opening it, I'll get 4 in the numerator and 2 minus 2 iota in the denominator. And take 2 common from this denominator, and 2 I will get cancelled from here. So this becomes 2 upon 1 minus iota, right? So either you can rationalize it directly here, or you can separate the modulus like this here. The property is used like z1 upon z2 whole mod is z1 mod upon z2 mod. So 2 can be written as 2 plus 0 iota, and this is 1 minus iota. And you can just take your, you know how to calculate modulus is real part square plus imaginary part square under root. So this becomes root 4 and this becomes root 2. So 2 by root 2 will give you root 2. Number 11 is a plus iota b is x plus iota whole square upon 2x square plus 1. Prove that a square plus b square equal to x square plus 1 whole square upon 2x square plus 1 whole square. So this type of question we have already done, that you can always, whenever this a plus iota b is given and you need to convert to a square plus b square, it's better to take the conjugate and then multiply both the equations. So I will start with the very first thing, that is I can take the conjugate, and during taking conjugate I'll change the sign of iota term. So a plus iota will change to a minus iota b, and it will change to x minus iota. And since there is no iota in the denominator, so it will be 2x square plus 1. Conjugate means you have to change only the term sign which is involving your iota. So as this is purely real term, this denominator is purely real term and it is not having iota, so it will be 2x square plus 1. Now multiply both of them. It becomes a plus iota b into a minus iota b, which is a square minus iota square b square, that is a square plus b square, as my iota square is equal to minus 1, right? And here x plus iota whole square, and multiplying both numerators into x minus iota whole square can be adjusted in one bracket, like we can use a square b square equal to ab whole square, and denominator is your 2x square plus 1 whole square, right? So this becomes your a plus b into a minus b, that is a square minus b square whole square, minus iota square is your plus 1, right? And we get the desired result. Let z1 is 2 minus iota, z2 is minus 2 plus iota. Find real part z1 z2 upon z1 bar and imaginary parts 1 upon z1 z1 bar, right? So see, I have to firstly make this complex number. So z1 into z2 is product of these two, and z1 bar is the conjugate of 2 minus iota, that is your 2 plus iota. This is the conjugate here, okay? So you need to put this sign here, the bar sign is. Please don't forget, because here we will change to 2 plus iota then. Now multiply, and by opening you will get this as minus 3 plus 4 iota upon 2 plus iota, which needs to be rationalized. So I'll multiply and divide by 2 minus iota. So by multiplying the terms, I'll get it as minus 2 plus 11 iota upon 5, and separating it minus 2 upon 5 plus 11 by 5 iota, right? Because iota square is minus 1, so that will merge with minus 6 to form a real part, right? So what is the real part of this framed complex number? It is minus 2 by 5. Similarly, for part 2, I will calculate 1 upon z1 into z1 bar. So 1 upon z1 is your 2 minus iota, and its conjugate is 2 plus iota. So it becomes 1 upon 4 minus iota square, and I'll get it as 1 upon 5. So it becomes, as complex number, I can write it as 1 upon 5 plus 0 iota. So what is the imaginary part of it? It is 0. So 0 is the required answer. Number 13 is find the modulus and argument of complex number 1 plus 2 iota upon 1 minus 3 iota. So for firstly calculating modulus and argument, what will I do? I will rationalize it with 1 plus 3 iota upon 1 plus 3 iota, multiply and divide by 1 plus 3 iota. So it will reduce to complex number minus 5 plus 5 iota upon 10, which on reduction can be written as minus half plus half iota, which is equal to x plus iota, right? Now this point can be represented as point minus half, minus half, minus half and half, right? And this lies in the second quadrant, where you know the argument is 180 minus theta, right? So z is your complex number like this. So compare it with r cos theta plus iota sin theta. R cos theta becomes minus half, which is x, and r sin theta is half, which is y. So squaring and adding both these, you get r square times cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4, which is r square is 1 by 2, which is r is 1 by root 2. And you know why negative sign is not retained, because it is a modulus, it is distance, so I should retain the positive sign itself, okay? And also this point is lying in second quadrant, where argument is pi minus theta. But you know, in this question we are in this part we are following other way also, that you can calculate tan pi upon x, right? So which becomes minus 1, so it is minus tan pi by 4, and you know tan in second quadrant it is pi minus theta, so I should go for tan 180 minus theta, which is tan 3 pi by 4, right? So theta is your 3 pi by 4, right? So modulus z is your 1 by root 2, and argument is 3 pi by 4. And if you need to write in polar form also, so you can express it as z is equal to r cos theta plus iota sin theta. So put the value of r as 1 by root 2 and this theta as 3 pi by 4, it will be converted to polar form. Number 14 is find the real numbers x and y, x minus iota y into 3 plus 5 iota is the complex conjugate of minus 6 minus 24 iota. Complex conjugate and conjugate and are one and the same thing, right? So this product is equal to conjugate of this, that means minus 6 minus 24 iota bar, okay? This product is not equal to this. This product is equal to the conjugate of this, and conjugate of this number is minus 6 plus 24 iota, right? So what I need to do is that I just need to change it to this form that take this complex number to the denominator. Either you can go by multiplication process also, but this will be a simpler one, that you take this to denominator to other side and then rationalize it by multiplying, dividing by 3 minus 5 iota. It gets reduced to a complex number which is your 3 plus 3 iota, okay, after cancellation. And the two complex numbers are equal whose corresponding real parts and corresponding imaginary parts are equal. So from here I'll get x as 3 and minus y as 3 means y as minus 3. Okay. Number 15 is find the modulus of 1 plus iota upon 1 minus iota minus 1 minus iota upon 1 plus iota. So again for modulus I need to firstly solve it to express it in the form of v plus iota v. So firstly I'll take LCM. So LCM is 1 minus iota into 1 plus iota, and top will become 1 plus iota whole square minus 1 minus iota whole square. And after opening, I'll get it as just 2 iota, which can be written as 0 plus 2 iota. And the modulus is square root of real part means 0 square plus 2 square, that is 4, and mod z is 2. Number 16 is x plus iota y whole cube equal to u plus iota v. Then show that u upon x plus v upon y equal to 4 times x square minus y square, right? So given u plus iota v is your x plus iota y whole cube. So formula for a plus b whole cube is a cube plus b cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square, right? So in this way we can open it like x cube plus 3x square iota y plus 3x iota y whole square plus iota y whole cube, right? Now opening. So x cube plus 3 iota x square y plus 3 iota square x y square plus iota cube y cube. Iota square is minus 1, iota cube minus iota. So just open up, okay, bring these two terms together for making the real parts and these two terms for with iota common, okay, take iota with positive term common to form the imaginary part. Now equate u to its real part, that is u x cube minus 3xy square, and v to imaginary part, that is 3x square y minus y cube. Okay, take x common from these terms, take y common, bring this x to the denominator. I get u by x as x square minus 3y square v upon y as 3x square minus y square. Add u upon x plus v upon y. I'll get x square plus 3x square as 4x square and minus 3y square minus y square as minus 4y square. Take 4 common and it becomes 4 times x square minus y square. Number 17 is if alpha beta are different complex numbers with beta mod as 1, then find beta minus alpha upon 1 minus alpha bar beta whole mod. Okay, so there are many ways of doing this question. You can consider its square and then express it as z into z bar. Okay, so that is another way which we have done in our virtual classes, that you can go consider its square and write it as this beta minus alpha upon 1 minus alpha bar beta, this complex number, into its conjugate, and then multiply and open up and use this property to solve it. But here I am trying some other way, right? So see this way also. So here given beta mod is 1, so beta mod square is 1, or I can write beta beta bar is 1, right? Because we know z mod square is equal to z z bar for every complex number z. Okay, so what can I do is I will replace this 1 by beta beta bar, okay, as this term is there, and take beta common from the denominator. So I'll get it as beta beta bar minus alpha bar. Numerator is same, right? Also one property is there, z1 minus z2 whole bar is equal to z1 bar minus z2 bar. So I can write beta bar minus alpha bar as beta minus alpha whole bar. Another two more properties I can use is z1 upon z2 whole mod is equal to z1 mod upon z2 mod, and z1 into z2 whole mod is z1 mod into z2 mod. Okay, means I can separate modulus for numerator and denominator and the product of two terms also, right? Okay, so here I'll get it as like in the numerator I will separate beta minus alpha whole mod, and denominator will become beta mod and beta minus alpha conjugate whole mod. Okay, now this is the key step here, like z conjugate whole mod is same as z mod. Why? Because modulus means we are just concerned with the real and imaginary parts. So like if a complex number is 3 plus 4 iota, its mod is your real part square plus imaginary part square. So it is 3 square plus 4 square. Not concerned with iota, right? So similarly, if z conjugate means for this complex number, what will be z conjugate? It will be minus 3 plus 3 minus 4 iota, right? So what will be its modulus? Its modulus will be again 3 square, okay, plus it will be minus 4 square, right? So it is 3 3s are 9 plus 4 4s are 16. That is your root 25, or should I say 5? And for it also the same result holds. So I can say that your z mod is same as z conjugate mod. So that means I can replace this as your the term without conjugate, means if it is z conjugate, so I can write it as z conjugate mod can be written as z mod. So this numerator gets cancelled with denominator. I get 1 upon beta mod, and beta mod is your 1, and the required answer is 1. So this is also one other way, but here you have to remember 2-3 properties which are to be utilized. Number 18 is find the number of non-zero integral solutions of the equation 1 minus iota whole mod raised to power x equal to 2 raised to power x. Okay, so 1 minus iota whole mod raised to power x means I have to take modulus of this 1 minus iota, that is your root of real part square 1 square plus minus 1 square, and this power raised to power x, okay, because this modulus is to be treated as this separate and raised to power x, and it is 2 raised to power x. So from here I'll get root 2 raised to power x, which is equal to 2, and it means 2 raised to power x by 2, okay, as it is 2 raised to power half. So x by 2 equal to 2 raised to power x, right? So properties of exponents, if I use x by 2 equal to x, means 2x equal to x, or 2x minus x equal to 0, or I get x is equal to 0. So which is the only solution for this equation? Which is your zero solution? So the given equation has no non-zero integral solution, and the number of non-zero integral solution is 0. Number 19 is if a plus iota b, c plus iota d, e plus iota f, g plus iota h equal to a plus iota b, then show that a square plus b square, c square plus d square, e square plus f square, g square plus h square equal to a square plus b square. So you know this question can be proceeded with modulus also, but the best way is to take this complex number, okay, and then take its conjugate again. So conjugate means you have to change the sign of this imaginary part. A minus iota b, c minus iota d, e minus iota f, g minus iota h equal to your a minus iota b, okay. Now multiply. So a plus iota b into a minus iota b will make your a square minus iota square b square. This will become c square minus iota square d square, e square minus iota square f square, and g square minus iota square h square, and it is e square minus iota square b square. And you know what is iota square equal to? It is your minus 1. So it becomes a square plus b square, c square plus d square, e square plus f square, g square plus h square equal to a square plus b square. Number 20 is if 1 plus iota upon 1 minus iota raised to power m is equal to 1, then find the least positive integral value of m. Okay, so start with this question. Firstly, what will I do is, because here I started with modulus, but here modulus is not required. It's just a simple bracket. And moreover, for whatsoever solution is to be carried out, firstly I need to express it in a plus iota b form. So for expressing it, what will I do? Inside the same power only, I will just rationalize it. So I'll multiply and divide with 1 plus iota. Okay. So it becomes 1 plus iota square plus 2 iota upon 1 minus iota square raised to power m equal to 1. So iota square is minus 1, and this is 2 iota, and this becomes 1 plus 1. Okay. Raised to power m is 1. So numerator will just give me 2 iota, and denominator 2 raised to power m is 1. So it becomes just iota raised to power m is equal to 1. Now you are concerned with iota, and you know about the properties of iota, that iota square is minus 1. Okay. So what is the least power of iota required to make it plus 1? So, you know, iota square should be squared, because in only that case minus 1 square will give me the answer as 1. Okay. So it means what is the minimum power required here? It is the power 4. So the least positive integral value of m satisfying this equation is 4. Okay. I hope that questions done in your miscellaneous exercise are clear to you. Give it a good round of practice and this topic will be clear to you. Thank you so much.